800 subs. We are flying by. We're gonna hit that 1,000 very, very soon. I want to thank you guys so very much that today I have created this contraption, which in this contraption there is tons of paper, and if we look in here, look at this, there's a ton of your guys' names, and some of you guys, 9 of you lucky guys, will get to be in this dropper. I don't know who it is, but I'll read you off your names today. If you guys are brand new, this is you, Mikeser238. Welcome. Glad you're here. Hope you enjoy this video. And if you do like, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But even, it's all, ooh, I forgot a hopper right there. But it's even filled all the way to the very top. Like over here, there's a bunch more people. And yeah, if you guys want to slow down the video, you could probably slow this down and maybe see your name in it, possibly. But there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, and all these chests are completely full. Even the hoppers are completely full too. Like, it's insane. So yeah, let's go ahead and just, I guess, dispense 9 of them. Let's get the first one. Eli Ray. Okay, so shout out to you. We got Microchip. We got BRC. Ian Lay. Right? We got Zoomy. Padley. Paper. Oh, that one I forgot to name. Whoopsie. Didn't mean for that to happen. We got K's Studios. Let's see. And then we got ... That was a weird YouTuber name. But yeah, there's definitely quite a few of you guys. And I want to thank you guys, each and every one of you, so very much. Thank you guys for subscribing. But with that said, yeah, enough of that shenanigans. Let's just get this video started, I guess. Yeah, let's jump into my other world and start this build tutorial. And the build tutorial that we are doing today in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to build this. An insanely epic underground, like, ruined city with the new stone Deepslate. You guys can see I have spent quite a bit of time preparing this. I'm not going to be doing a block by block tutorial because all of this is organic shapes. All of the caves are natural down here, so it's more of along those lines of this is going to be a tutorial where I kind of give you an idea and I show you and explain to you how to do these kind of styles. But over here you can see this stuff actually works. We got pathways that connect buildings. Whoops, accidentally fell off the pathway. I did the parkour and then I fell off the pathway. But I'm going to be teaching you how to build this amazing style of just underground caverns. Right here is where I'm going to put one more building. Yeah, if you guys want to download this, I'm sorry, I'm still just amazed by this because it actually looks really good. I'm so proud of this thing. Just let's do a little bit of a swivel just so you guys can see it. It looks really amazing. Super proud of this. And if you guys do want, there's going to be a world download and link below description so you guys can actually check this out. But with that said, I think it's just time to start kind of jumping into what I did, details on how to make this thing, and just kind of techniques that I used in order to create these buildings. So the very first thing I did when establishing kind of like what to do to build all this is I got a block palette. Right here we've got quite a big block palette, but these are all blocks that I use. I only really use these ones too, and like lanterns, chains, trapdoors, all this stuff, all of the Deepslate kind of, or you know, different parts of Deepslate and everything. I didn't really use the actual Deepslate and Deepslate cobble just because otherwise it would have blended in too much. But yeah, I used all these blocks. If you guys want to see, there just one more time. And what I did with them is I would just create pillars and buildings. I actually started off right here with this first building, right? And what I kind of did is I began to place down blocks, and I would use Deepslate bricks at first just to kind of establish a shape. From there, I'd start replacing Deepslate blocks with walls, stairs, putting dark oak on top of it to create kind of a broken down roof, and then just creating holes, just breaking holes here and there. That's kind of what I did for this whole entire thing. In all honesty, I created these dark oak slabs that you can actually go up if we go in this building right here. Some of them aren't connected, some of them are, but you can see right here we've got one that actually goes up the staircase where you can go up here. You can go through this. This is another building that you're in now, and you can go across this bridge that goes by this waterfall into this building that goes onto this bridge. So it's a lot of interconnected parts and a lot of ruined places. Like right here you can see we got a little bit of an overlook where we can actually go and look at our city from above. And what I did is I just connected it using dark oak slabs. You don't want to use purely Deepslate because then I'd notice that it started to blend in a lot. So what I would actually do is I would create the foundation using blackstone, polished blackstone, that sort of stuff to kind of give it a bit more of an oomph. You know, this is a lot darker of a block. This contrasts a lot more to this. If we were to walk around, you can see it clearly pops out in the Deepslate. So using the blackstone and everything, we use that as kind of a base of the buildings. And then dark oak was typically a filler block on top. We also use fences and walls to create foundational pieces. And then on the bridges, typically on the bridges, I would have these chains, dark oak signs. I put a lot of dark oak signs everywhere. There's a lot of detail built into this. If I were just to fly up to right here, just these little lantern things, you can see all the dark oak trapdoors I put. And the dark oak is very important in this sort of style that I built because without it, everything would be a little bit more bland. The dark oak really pops in a nice bright brown texture that stands out from the rest of the dull gray. Over here in this building, you can see what I did is I just started popping down I always work with Deepslate bricks first because this is just a nice block to work with, and then I begin to replace. I begin to get say Deepslate style stairs, and maybe right here I want the wall to look a little bit more fractured, so I replace it with 2 stairs so that when you walk by it looks a little bit more fractured. And the nice thing about this too, with these types of buildings, even though they're totally messed up, totally fractured, what you can end up doing eventually is just creating a lot of space. Whoops, I accidentally deleted a lantern, so now we're blind. Let me get a lantern out. So even though they're fractured and everything, you can literally just begin to dig into caves, because this is all underground, and then make an entire room. So it's deceptively large. If we were to go up to, say, this building right here and flat look on the inside, you can see I've created a lot more space on the inside. I've made it a lot bigger, and so that's something you can do with this thing. But yeah, the style is just a lot of dark oak. Sometimes I'll create these railings, like right here, this is the lava pool. Obviously, you wouldn't want to accidentally fall into it and burn to death. So I created some dark oak trapdoors and signs going around it, dark oak slabs. And that's kind of the style. Yeah, fences here and there. These are lighting sources so that the cave is a little bit more lit up. So I would put in random places with gray carpet on top of glowstone, just because otherwise this cave would be a lot darker. Here, let me fly over so you guys can see what I mean. If we were to fly over into an unlit section, you can immediately see how it gets just a lot darker and a lot harder to see. So including these like little windows every once in a while, I just did 2 dark oak signs with chains in the middle and a glowstone to light up the whole cave around. And from there, that's kind of the style explained, just creating buildings, lots of broken down shapes, lots of chains for windows, walls for actual broken down pieces. You could even probably have like broken down bits and pieces. Just by placing in unorganic blocks, you already add a ton of detail, because that's not natural, and you can tell, you can notice that. So with that all said, that's kind of how to actually build these things, right? Over here, just a bunch of dark oak trapdoors. I think what I really want to do now is just kind of explain, or just kind of build with you guys and show, so you guys can see my thought process as I begin to build a little bit of a building right here. Okay, so the very first thing I said I was gonna do, is use Deepslate bricks to kind of create a foundation. What I'm gonna do first of all is I'm actually gonna get my glowstone out so that we can actually see a bit more. It's nice to be able to see when you're building. You can alternatively get, like a night vision potion or something like that, but I'm just gonna sprinkle in some glowstone here and there. And the very first thing I want to do when creating this building is just immediately start placing blocks down. You don't want to get too carried away with, trying to make everything look as perfect as possible. You just kind of want to throw something down and hope that it looks all right. Not hope, but just kind of place blocks and just see how they're going. Sometimes you might want to break some blocks, sometimes replace them. This is a lot of finagly things. You just got to kind of do what looks good and go off of your gut, which I know is uncomfortable for a lot of you guys. Some of you guys like to just have a block by block tutorial where you don't have to think about it, but sometimes, unfortunately, you got to think a little bit. So right there, I would say, yeah, I'm pretty darn happy with that structure. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding pieces on top of it. So you can see right there, the piece kind of goes out a little bit. Right here, maybe I want to add a block right there. It's just a lot of finagly stuff. I'm just going to continue establishing a foundation. And when I've got something that I'm pretty darn happy with, I will stop, which right there, maybe a few more blocks right here to connect a little bit, and a window right there. You can see we've already just established a building, a shape. From there, we can get our dark oak slabs. I like to work on the roof next. What you want to work on is up to you, but just putting these dark oak planks in, you can see that this creates a lot more detail on top. And I'm doing it very sporadically, very not in control, just hoping that it kind of looks all right. This is a lot of hoping and a lot of finagling, I tell you what, but this is already looking pretty darn good. With ruined structures, you can't really get it wrong, which is super nice about these things. Right there, yeah, I would say this is already looking pretty good. You can see we've put on a dark oak roof. And to make this one, since this is more of an actual standing up building, a lot of these buildings are actually built into walls, so you don't have to worry about this as much. But you do want the roof to be kind of connected a little bit. So right there, that's a pretty connected roof. It looks like it might be able to stand on its own. Maybe it will add in a few foundational pieces here and there, but you can already see this is a pretty nice building. Now what we want to do, we've got the base, and we've got the roof, which is looking all right, maybe some blocks here and there, as we want to have a place where we can actually enter. So I'm going to put a doorway here, and I actually want 2 doors, a doorway here and here on either side so that we can enter from either side. Since the ruined structure, it's a little bit more complex when trying to figure out where to put entrances and whatnot. From there, we want to go ahead, and like I said before, I use a lot of blackstone. I should just go in this chest over here because I have all my materials. So I'm just going to get some polished blackstone, some regular blackstone, and some polished blackstone bricks, and I'm going to start placing them in. Not too much with this building, I don't want to put it in too much because it's already most definitely seen. The reason I put the blackstone in these buildings is because they kind of blend in with the wall. So I won't put as much in here. But maybe even around it too, we could have some foundational bits and pieces of the blackstone. Although this Deepslate already looks like a very foundational block. Right there, that looks pretty darn good. I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the doorway. So it's just messing around with it. It's just looking around, seeing what you could do and going, okay, this looks interesting. You could definitely tell that that's kind of a doorway, maybe a block right there just to indicate that you can actually walk through. And then over here, we want this to be a doorway as well. So I'm going to put that right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and actually get some other bricks other than Deepslate. So let's go ahead and go in here and get some other variations of Deepslate blocks. So now what I do is, now that I've established a structure, right, we've got this kind of built up, I just start replacing, because if you have only these bricks, it becomes a lot more overpowering to the eye. It becomes too bland, too textureless. And this is what we're doing. We're adding texture. Texture is very important when doing Minecraft builds because it's a very blocky game. Too many blocks makes it look just unrealistic and gross. So now that we've added some of those in, I'll get some of the polished Deepslate and we'll begin replacing blocks just here and there, just touching up as I go along. You can see, I'd say this is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this so far. I might do a bit editing, tweaking in between clips and whatnot, but right there, I would say I do like the bricks a lot, the Deepslate bricks, so I do keep quite a few of them. And I would say that's actually pretty good for the amount we've replaced. You can see now we've got a little ramshackle structure. This is perfect. With the dark oak trapdoors, too, we can actually start adding to the roof a little bit. So just adding trapdoors here and there adds a lot of detail, especially when you connect them between slabs, right? So like right here, maybe we replace that dark oak trapdoor with a slab, set that the other way around. But just so that we can like get other details inside this roof. Replace that with a dark oak trapdoor, place a dark oak trapdoor. And maybe you can have some going up on the sides like that as well to add a tiny bit more detail. Yeah, it's just messing around. It's nothing too crazy. It's a lot of random placing of blocks and then looking back, taking a step back. Make sure you take steps back as you do this too, to go, okay, I like this or I don't like that. And now that we've got the roof looking really nice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my stairs out. So I'm going to get my stairs and I'm going to get my slabs and this wall that I have as well. And now we can go ahead and start making it look a lot more fractured. So right here, maybe we want the doorway to look a little bit more broken down. Adding these stairs in certain angles just makes a structure feel like it's crumbly, which is really important when you're doing this type of build because this is a very crumbly city. It's an old mining city is what it looks like. And you want to have these details. I use walls a lot too. Walls are actually so helpful when adding a lot more detail. You can already see with this like a little bit, we can actually see through the structure now. It just adds so much. Right here, I'll add a stair with a slab and then another slab right here. Maybe I'll put another slab right up there. And you can see it's just starting to come together. The whole thing is starting to feel a lot more realistic, a lot more ruined, and that's what we want. So maybe a wall right there. Actually, you know what? I'll put slabs on top of that to make it feel a little bit more structurally safe. Although this whole thing looks like it's about to collapse. I don't know what I'm talking about structurally safe. Maybe a wall right there. And now I'm going to get some fences, dark oak fences. I feel like since this is a ground structure, right, we use the dark oak fences quite a bit. Like right up here, we use it for a balcony. And over here, we actually use it for supporting structures. So I think what I'm going to do down here, though, is I'm going to use it just for a little bit of sporadic fence placing to make it look like this structure actually has just like a little yard. It'd be a very gross yard having it in this Deepslate biome, but this is looking good. I'm liking the fence right there. That looks pretty awesome. I think I'm going to keep it. To light this thing up too, a good way, an easy way too, is just literally sticking lanterns because these things have the most pretty textures. You can literally just stick a lantern right up there and boom, you got some lighting as well. And then we don't have to worry about this ugly glowstone sticking out, which will probably begin to break right now. Maybe I'll hang a lantern up in the house. Lighting is something very cool you can work with too when doing this type of thing, is just by putting lanterns, it lights up the whole build, and when you walk out, all of a sudden it adds this whole brand new texture to it. You can see it already looks a lot different just because the lighting inside has changed. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my chains out because I use a lot of chains in these types of builds. And you guys can see, really not that bad. It's just finagling and making things look good. I'll put a chain right there. I like to do these chain windows every once in a while. These things look really cool. And adding lots of chains makes it feel a lot more archaic, so I kind of like doing that. I'll put some chains right there. Shift click on the trapdoor. And maybe we'll put some chains just right here going up. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. See, and don't feel afraid to take away stuff too. And then another thing, barrels. So you're actually going to have storage in these sort of things, in these types of houses and stuff when you're building, because this is going to be maybe a survival world for you guys. I don't know exactly what you guys are doing, but adding barrels and furnaces work really well with this thing too. This type of texture, adding furnaces in, it makes your thing feel a lot more miner-esque. It's really cool. But yeah, just adding simple stuff like that. It looks pretty darn amazing, this build. Last thing I could think of to do it, to make it a little bit better, is using dark oak signs. I use signs all the time because they look amazing. Just look at that. Just those 2 blocks added so much texture. We'll add some dark oak signs right here and there. And now what I'm going to do is, now that you guys have kind of seen the building process, I'm going to finagle it. I'm going to finagle it, make it look a little bit nicer, a little bit neater, and then I'll show you guys what the finished product ends up looking like. Okay, and I really didn't do that much. I was pretty darn content with the way this was actually turning out. Usually building on camera, I have to go in and tweak some stuff to make it look a little bit nicer. But I don't know. I think this turned out pretty good. There might be a little detail right here that I want to change, one of these 2 walls. I actually want to change that to that wall right there to differ up the texture just a little bit. But yeah, you can see I did add in some signs here and there, because signs add a lot of texture that you don't get otherwise. I love using signs for structural supports too. Right here you can see I just wrapped 3 signs around this little bit of a column. Adds so much detail, I kid you not. Right over here, I probably did the same thing right here too. Yeah, look at this. Look, another structure support. It makes it feel a little bit more intact, and it also gives a more patchy work to the actual thing. One thing I don't like are these brown carpets. I'm getting rid of those right now because I didn't like the way those turned out. But the house is pretty much the same. Ooh, right there, brown carpets. Added some coarse dirt and regular dirt into the midst, and it looks good. It looks good. Torches work really well in this environment too. If you guys want to go torch crazy on this type of build, I would recommend it. Nah, maybe, I don't know. That looks pretty good. You want to have the torches in good spots, of course, placed strategically. But right there, you have it. And using this style, using this build style, what you can end up doing is creating an entire city like this that looks totally ruined. A lot of these things were natural too, like this waterfall right here, totally natural. I just worked with the environment that I was put in. I saw this place and I thought, okay, well, this is what I've got to work with. Let's see how we can change it. Let's see how we can incorporate it. And as I was building, I noticed stuff like right here. I was like, wow, this would be a really cool spot for a canopy, an overlook of the actual city itself. Over here, we could have an actual functional bridge. And this is a lot of parkour. If you guys like parkour, this is the perfect type of style to build for you guys, because it's a super easy style and you can also have a lot of parkour involved too. Right here, I was thinking about turning this into a whole-on shopping thing. So, you could have like a door right there to a shop and a door right there to a shop. And you can just turn... The possibilities are endless with these new cave generations because they're so huge and they're so perfect for building. Another thing I did too, one thing I forgot to point out, is that sometimes I add staircases that aren't even functional. So right here you can see just having these dark oak slabs, totally couldn't go up that, but it looks cool. Adding supports, so maybe in this cave right here you could have some sort of farm buried down below, and all you would want to do is add these supports that look like the cave is being supported, because that's what supports do. Actually, I want to replace that with dark oak fence. There we go. But yeah, just looking around, you'll be able to find and make these caves your home. One of the cool aspects of this too is that because it looks very awesome. First of all, let me just say, look, it really does look incredible. The whole city feel to it. It's just so much fun. I want to build this. I'm going to build this in the survival series one day. I have to, because this thing is just so cool looking. Or maybe just transform an entire cave. But the coolest thing about it, what I was saying, is that some people, or not some people, most people, when they're going through this, they probably won't know how to navigate through your base too, and you will. So you can be like this ninja running around your own home. Maybe if they're attacking you, and you can just run and be like, oh, I know, I have a bridge right here. Let's parkour up and get out of here. Maybe jump on this arch over here, and then jump to our building right here, and you can just have a lot of fun secrets with it. This thing, I'm proud of it. I'm really proud of the way this turned out, and I hope you guys liked it. I hope this helped you out right here. This is a little building that I did very, very quickly. It's a super easy style to do. You can't go wrong with it. When you're building ruined structures, you cannot go wrong with it. It just, as long as you keep taking a step back, keep looking back and going, I like that, I don't like that, let me change it. You just need to keep your eyes open and just have details that attach it to. A lot of things I do, like these lights right here, I have a lot of common details. So these are very similar, and because of that, it adds a bit more uniformness to the whole build. Right here you can see I actually forgot to do it, and I will add it real quick on these two to make the whole thing feel a bit more uniform. But don't mess around with too much changing of the block palette. If you're not comfortable with messing with block palettes and stuff, I would recommend just choosing one that you like, sticking with it, But yeah, that's it. That's the tutorial basically done. It's definitely not a block for block tutorial, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's a little bit different from what I usually do when I go, you place this block, blah, 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 whatever. It's a little bit different, but it's something I thought I should do just to help you guys out with your own building when you start to build. I think, again, that this turned out amazing, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions about styles, about other details, about block palettes, whatever you want. Comment down below, and I would love to help you guys out with answering. But yeah, with enough finagling, enough building, you guys can have an epic mining city too. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one. Thank you guys so... Woo! I fell down that cliff right there. Whoopsie. Be careful if you're doing this in survival too. Thank you guys so much for 800 subscribers. Seriously awesome. I didn't do too big of a thing right now, but those of you who got to hear your name be read, that's really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit of a bit, and there's a lot more of you guys too. I want to thank you guys so much. I can't thank each and every single one of you 800 people, but for you guys checking out my channel, coming over and subscribing, it means a lot to me. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this special was up to par with what you guys enjoy. With that said, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that may be. Have no idea just yet. It's going to be something great though, because I always strive to do quality content. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy life, enjoy Minecraft, and ciao. And one last thing, for those of you guys who want, because this world is pretty darn epic, again, world link will be down in the description, so you guys can download this and play it yourself if you want. Only works in the latest snapshot, but feel free to check this out.